All right, so a typical case of pot calling the kettle black, because China has a problem now with cases in Guangzhou, and they believe that this is all because of what they believe are variants that have been first reported in the UK. But from where did COVID-19 even originate? Gentlemen, let's see if we get an answer to that. As I say, good evening to Major Gen G.D. Bakshi Saab, who's a defense expert on the panel. Right now, Dr. Sriram Cholia is Professor and Dean at the Jindal School of International Affairs. Also a contributor here on Republic, Sushant Sareen is a senior fellow at the ORF. Professor D.K. Giri is a political commentator, and Vivek Srivastav is a political analyst. Joining us on the broadcast from Delhi. Sriram, I today want to know, Sriram, you know, China, there is a lot of merit in what Sushant says. He says, listen, tomorrow even if you find out the real truth about coronavirus, what happens next? That is the moot question. How far will countries like the US or perhaps even India be willing to go to punish China in case all these reports are actually true, Sriram? How do you read into what has happened, and especially now when Joe Biden has said that he needs an investigation into this? Or you think he's just playing to his domestic audience?
Yeah, I think Deepthi, this is a global need for truth and restorative justice, and it's not just the bipolar global competition between US and China. That's of course there, but there's also many voiceless and powerless people around the world who have been victims and who want some kind of their dignity to be restored. And some kind of a new start to be made, and it can only happen if we find out what the Chinese did in 2019 or even before 2019. So the truth will liberate you ultimately. That's the only way we can build a post-COVID world order. So it's a bigger question than just the US-China rivalry. But of course, the US has a geopolitical interest in embarrassing and curtailing China's rise, and this is an important point for them to latch onto. So I'm sure they will investigate and try to increasingly expose the Chinese shenanigans. But likewise, many other countries have problems with China, as General Bakshi and Sushant have been saying. So all of us, it's in our common interest strategically to make sure that this uninterrupted rise of China, which has come at the expense of everybody, which has come in the process of spreading these disasters around the world like coronavirus, that this unstoppable rise must be stopped. And the way we can do it is by getting to the bottom of this long well which they have dug. It is so deep, and they are using the shield of sovereignty, and they'll say we will not allow any investigations. But that's okay, there are other means of extracting the information, and that's why spy agencies, national security apparatus are now involved. And I think the issue is with the Chinese, what will we do with the Chinese? Let us say, or more or less the consensus is building that they are guilty in the eyes of the people of the world, not just US government or US intelligence. The people of the world, most countries, the verdict is already out. The Chinese are guilty. So what do we do about them? How do we punish them for this? Yeah, I think one is definitely disinvestment. See, what has happened since 1980s, late 80s, early 90s, heavy Western capital has flown into China like anything through outsourcing. And that has to stop, that has to be reversed. And there is some ethical basis for this, right? There should be some. And that is going to come through the more these things come to light about what really happened in Wuhan or in the rest of China. How did this virus become so contagious and so global? So I think the more we are able to detach ourselves from China, reduce our dependence on China, wall off our supply chains around the world from the Chinese centrality, because the Chinese had a hand in every, the finger in, every pie. That was how they were able to try and hush up the whole world. Because even now they say that, nobody can wish away China, because they say that they are now the ground zero for globalization. All of you need us. You cannot dispense China. China is indispensable. They are acting on the arrogance of that. So that has to come down through economic countermeasures. And likewise, I think militarily also, all our agencies should cooperate because now it's no longer up to the WHO. We know the WHO has been feeble, it's been a non-starter, it has already been compromised by China. So we cannot rely on the multilateral processes much, although that will also carry on. What we need to do is smaller coalitions. Already the US is using allied intelligence agencies to extract more information from what's happening inside China, what happened in the past with the virus. So all of us need to contribute. If we have got assets on the ground, let's join hands. These things we don't speak about publicly, but intelligence cooperation is the key to put them on the mat. The Chinese are, they don't have many allies. Only North Korea, Pakistan, to name a few, are, inconsequential. But many, very important countries in this region, Australia, it's got a strong espionage network. Japan always has a big presence in China. We must all, the Quad countries, Quad plus, Vietnam has influence in China, it's got assets in China. All of us should have an information sharing network to be able to extract, the truth and to embarrass them further. It is in our interest to embarrass them. It is in the global interest. It's for truth and dignity, as I said, but also strategically necessary for us. So I think this question, and Vivek is saying that we should take care of our own people. This is a separate thing. Our intelligence agencies, our national security, our foreign policy has to work towards bringing the Chinese under control. That is not distracting from our war against the combating the virus and protecting our people. Let's not make it look like China is a diversion. China is actually not diversion. China is the root of the problem. And unless we tackle that with concerted action and with a strategic plan, all of us allied nations and partners, we will not be able to do much, because the Chinese are like a wall. They have walled them off. They have always been insular, and they don't allow outside influences and outside investigative agencies to come in. So we need other means. We need to have assets there on the ground. There are many countries that have got Chinese people themselves who are upset with the Communist Party, who are working on behalf of foreign countries as spies. So those kind of assets, human intelligence, technical intelligence, communications data, interception, cyber means, we need all those things to do this, because this is not an ordinary small country. Like Vivek is saying, it is a great power, and to make a great power bend to truth and justice,
absolutely,
it requires a countervailing force of many, many powers coming together. So I think we need that coalition and that kind of alliance now, a global alliance for truth on coronavirus. And the modalities of this can be worked out by the higher level authorities behind the scenes. But publicly, public opinion, states, we need this consensus, because the scientific consensus was initially about the zoonotic, and now it is moving in a different direction. That is already broken. So the wall that China has built, the wall of lies, one after the other, the bricks are falling. Now it's our task to completely smash this wall and to pry open as much as possible through cooperation and through strategy. So I think it's very important we are having this debate. This is not about a diversion from saving lives. This is about preventing more lives from being lost in the future, because another virus is likely to come out, or many more variants are likely to come out of those labs in Wuhan or elsewhere. Because if we can join the circumstantial evidence, they have a lot going for them right now. They have bounced back economically, and they are believing that they have come out as victors and winners of this crisis. They will want to do this again and again. So how do we prevent that? It is through strategy. Let it be political. Let it be a political fight with China, where there is a large coalition or an anti-China bloc that's able to come together scientifically, militarily, intelligence-wise, and that's how we're going to cut them down to size.
Absolutely.
They will criticize, they will accuse, but they will never act.
Vivek, are you trying to say that we have to bow and kowtow to China? Is this all you're saying?
Absolutely
we should become
not.
slaves of China?
India should never bow.
We should accept their
India should
power
never
and
bow.
dominance?
India
You
should
are
never
for Chinese
bow.
hegemony.
Whether
You are
it
a
is
supporter
American
of
or
Chinese
Chinese.
hegemony. India
not asking
never
you to bow.
supports hegemony.
Have your own
India
identity.
believes in
Have
counterbalance.
your own identity.
We believe in a
Become strong
multipolar
like them.
world. You are justifying
Become strong like them.
bipolarity.
Remove
You are
your
justifying
marketing.
bipolarity.
Remove
We are
your
saying
corruption.
overthrow
And
bipolarity
very
and
strong
bring
first. And
other
then you
powers
fight.
to the table.
You're not in a position
You
to
are
come back.
defending Chinese hegemony. Is this?
No, I'm not
Are you
defending
an
anyone.
Indian at all? What
I
are
am
your
an Indian
interests?
to the core.
And where are you getting your
You
bread
will
and
live
butter
your
from?
own dream world.
You are
You remain
supporting
in your
Chinese
own dreams.
hegemony and justifying
You
it,
remain in your
saying
own
it is
dreams.
natural. It is not natural.
We are not in a
Chinese
position to come
hegemony is
back
not
at the
natural.
moment. That is
The
the
virus is
Vivek,
not natural.
whether you believe
Chinese
this or
hegemony
not,
is not natural. natural.
Okay,
We have
Shriram, the world and we here in India want to know the China COVID truth, and we will find that out. Vivek, General G.D. Bakshi Saab, Sushant, D.K. Giri, and also Shriram Cholia. Gentlemen, thank you so much for all your time.